combination of punk and funk music, you know, primarily.
We never thought about, you know, let's try to do this forever. In fact, there were several times when we tried to break up and we tried to disband and people got fired and people tried to quit and people died and people fell apart at the seams. And we really did our best to break this band up. And it was like this, you know, strange cosmic magnet that just kept coming back together. We were unsuccessful at breaking this band up.
Join us in part 2 for Sundry's Sun-Dried Mayhem, Chili style.
John Frusciante was not pleased with the circumstances. He left the band.
For their next trick, the boys colonized a haunted house in the Hollywood Hills, no doubt scaring the ghosts away in the process, and set about the live recording of their next long player, Blood Sugar Sex Magik.
Somebody said, well, maybe we should make our record in a huge house. And we said, yeah, that'd be great, because then we wouldn't have to go into a studio and we wouldn't have to deal with the anal retentive vibrations of you know, the sterilicity involved with that sort of recording environment. We could create our own recording environment and we could live there and it would be like a camp. We could go to camp and make a record and we wouldn't have to leave. We wouldn't have to be distracted. We could be focused on exactly what we wanted to do, was make the most beautiful record in the world. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. That's all that mattered to us at that point in our lives, was making this record that we had been working on for about 7 months in pre-production, just writing.
This marked the first time the band threw it down with the dapper don of hip-hop, Def Jam Records Uber producer, Rick Rubin. It's a marriage that has lasted longer than any Tinseltown fairy tale, with Rick producing all of the Red Hot Chili Peppers albums since.
And we just accepted Rick with open minds and open hearts, and he was great. He was a gas to work with.
Getting together, working with Rick is a real comfortable thing with us. He knows us really well. He knows what the great thing about us is.
He just lets us be us, which is really important.
I'll stress out about things, none of which end up ever being a problem, but it doesn't make me stress out about them any less to know that. And so it really helps to have someone like Rick who, like, throughout all these things.
Sometimes he'll say something else and it'll sound ridiculous, like it's something we never would have thought of. Like, what are you talking about? Play the end at the beginning? Why would we play the end at the beginning? It's the end. And then, like, he'll made us come up, remember, you guys promised no matter what, we try everything. Okay, we'll try it. And then it ends up being great.
Rick is the kind of guy where no matter what you told him, like, Rick, we've decided to just do 10 songs. He'd be like, great.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, Rick, we wrote 40 songs. He'd be like, great. We've decided to go in a completely different direction. Great.
He just really lets you know that it's going to be okay, and that's my #1 favorite thing that I get out of my experience with him. You know,
he gets the big picture. That's his specialty. Is he sees the bigger picture.
The album rocked the world. Platinum selling and acting as the catalyst for a sellout world tour, magazine covers and MTV Awards glory, Blood Sugar Sex Magik soon became the Red Hot Chili Peppers' most successful album to date and cemented their global fame.
We hit a real high creative peak, I felt, when we did the Blood Sugar record in that time. And it got really intense in that time. We started getting, we had been at a gradual level of popularity as we, you know, worked over years and years and years of constant touring. And then we made the Blood Sugar record, we became, you know, we had big hits, we became really huge, we became a huge rock band. I think that we covered a lot more emotional territory on the new record than we have in the past.
Just one of the highlights? Anthony Kiedis hauntingly unlocking the intimate secrets of his own pitched battle against drug abuse on the revelatory hit single, Under the Bridge.
There's a song on our new record called Under the Bridge. The crux of the song is based on loneliness, and there's this one little lyrical phrase that comes in at the very end of the song, which says, under the bridge downtown is where I drew some blood. Under the bridge downtown forgot about my love. Under the bridge downtown, I could not get enough. Under the bridge downtown, I gave my life away.
We're very proud and excited about that record. And Gus Van Sant, I had acted in a film that he made called My Own Private Idaho, and I became friends with him, and I suggested that we get him to make the video, and we did.
When we did Under the Bridge, my memory of it is just getting there, doing my 5 minutes on stage, and then taking a break, and then doing another 5 minutes with Flea, and that was everything. You know, we were out of there like that. So that's nice when there's no waiting around.
It wasn't like we went from, you know, being unheard of to being rich and famous overnight. You know, it sort of took about 8 years or so to even make a living doing what we did. You know, even though we never had other jobs, we were always, you know, doing couch tours and sleeping 10 people under a roof and things like that. So, you know, when we finally got rich and famous, it changed a little bit because it was gradual. It didn't, you know, mess us up that bad.
The winner is...
And the winner is...
my man Flea and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It is a great feeling to be appreciated and to be acknowledged and to be loved. I think everyone likes that sensation, but it really has to have its own place. You know, it's just an award, and there is no competition out there in terms of, you know, why people make art.
While touring this album, and with Lollapalooza lolloping over the horizon, John Frusciante chose this moment to call it a day, leaving the Chili's up a certain creek without a certain instrument. In this case, a guitar.
When I joined the band, I had this extra anxious sort of desire to be a rock star, out of proportion to the amount of work that I was putting into music, which wasn't very much. And I was just going around trying to get laid as much as possible and all that. So much so that I quit the band, you know.
John Frusciante was not pleased with the circumstances. He left the band. We miss him, and it was a sad loss. And, you know, I wish him well and project all of my love and white light towards him at all times of the day and night. But we decided to continue as a band.
Having chewed up and spat out a couple of Chili wannabes, ex-Jane's Addiction axeman Dave Navarro saved the day and stepped up.
Dave joined the band. Hello. We said about the process of writing songs, hanging out, spending time together, trying to make something beautiful and true.
They've always been the most talented musicians in Los Angeles and possibly the world, contemporary rock musicians, and I was very excited to play with Flea and Chad, and it was an honor. Bring any new member into a situation where there's an existing group, it's going to change, and like it did with John Frusciante, there was some dramatic changes there.